For 4 days straight, one of Antarctica's most lethal predators tried to keep a human being alive. Not by ignoring him, not by tolerating him, by hunting for him, bringing him fresh kills, growing visibly distressed when he refused to eat, and eventually changing her strategy entirely to make it easier for him to feed. That story will reframe everything you think you know about this animal. But to understand why it matters, you first need to understand what a leopard seal actually is. Because most people have the picture badly wrong. Most people picture seals as clumsy, almost comical creatures. Blubbery, slow on land, harmless. Erase that image. A fully grown female leopard seal, and females are larger than males, can reach 3.8 meters in length and weigh close to 600 kilograms. In the water, that mass moves at up to 40 kilometers per hour. Their body is not round and barrel-like the way you picture a seal. It is long, muscular, and torpedo-shaped, with a disproportionately large head. A head designed specifically around one function: killing. That jaw can open to nearly 160 degrees. The front teeth are long, interlocking canines capable of puncturing through the thick blubber of another seal. But the back teeth? This is where the animal gets strange. The back teeth are tricusped. 3 points that mesh together so precisely they form a sieve. The same mouth that can bite through a Weddell seal's skull will spend hours sieving krill from mouthfuls of seawater like a whale. No other apex predator on Earth does this. The leopard seal is simultaneously one of the ocean's most dangerous hunters and a filter feeder. Two entirely different biological strategies inside one animal. That alone makes it extraordinary. But the way it hunts is what makes it terrifying. Watch a penguin colony long enough at the ice edge, and you will notice something. The birds line up. They crowd together. They jostle and push. But nobody wants to be first into the water. This is not accidental. This is a survival calculation, because somewhere beneath that black water there may be a leopard seal, and the first penguin in is the most exposed. Leopard seals exploit this. They will hold position beneath an ice shelf, motionless, almost invisible, waiting. Not for minutes, for hours. And when that penguin finally commits, when it launches from the ice, the seal explodes upward. The initial strike is usually to disorient. Then comes the kill technique that is unique to this species. The leopard seal grabs the penguin by its feet and whips it, violently, repeatedly, slamming the bird against the water surface at speed until the body separates from the skin. Scientists call it cracking. In under 60 seconds, a penguin that was alive on the ice is processed and consumed, but individual leopard seals do not all hunt the same way. Researchers tracking specific animals have documented what can only be described as personal hunting styles, strategies that individual seals develop, refine, and use exclusively. One animal, documented over multiple seasons, exclusively targeted penguins in the air, waiting until a bird had launched from the ice shelf and was mid-leap before striking. No other seal in the study area used that technique. That is not instinct alone. That is learned behavior, individual problem-solving, a predator that thinks about how it hunts. Which brings us to the question that started this video. In 2006, National Geographic photographer Paul Nicklen entered the waters off Antarctica to document leopard seals. He had been warned. Scientists had told him to stay alert, keep moving, never turn his back. Within minutes, the largest leopard seal he had ever seen, a massive female, came straight at him with her mouth open. She put his entire camera dome inside her mouth. And then she stopped. She did not bite down. She did not pull. She held the camera housing gently in her jaws for a moment, released it, and circled him. Then she dove, caught a live penguin, and brought it to him. She released it directly in front of his face. He did not eat it. She watched. She dove again. She brought another one. Then another. Over the course of that first encounter, she brought him somewhere between 8 and 10 live penguins, releasing them at his camera, watching each time as he failed to consume them. Her behavior changed. The penguins she brought started arriving already dead, pre-killed, easier to eat. She pushed them directly at his mask. This went on for 4 days. Nicklen later described the animal as appearing genuinely distressed at his inability to feed. She would bring a kill, watch him fail to eat it, and circle before trying again with a different approach. The behavior was not aggression, it was not play. It was the same behavior a female leopard seal uses to teach a naive juvenile to hunt. She had classified him as something that needed feeding, and she committed to it for 4 days. Cognitive ethologists have used this documented interaction as a case study in cross-species empathic behavior. Evidence that leopard seals can model the mental states of other animals and adjust their behavior accordingly. This is not the profile of a mindless killing machine. This is something more complex and in some ways more unsettling. But complexity does not equal safety. On the 22nd of July 2003, near Rothera Research Station on the Antarctic Peninsula, a 28-year-old marine biologist named Kirsty Brown entered the water for a snorkeling survey. A leopard seal grabbed her and pulled her down. She was dragged to a depth of approximately 60 meters. Her colleagues on the surface could do nothing. By the time she was recovered, she had drowned. Kirsty Brown remains the only confirmed human fatality caused by a leopard seal. Researchers later could not determine whether the attack was predatory, a seal that perceived her as prey, or territorial or investigatory behavior that escalated fatally. Leopard seals have been known to stalk divers for the full duration of a dive, circling and following without attacking. The line between investigation and predation is not always clear from inside the water. What is clear is this: a leopard seal that decides a human is a threat, or prey, is operating at the top of the Antarctic food chain with no instinct telling it to hesitate. The leopard seal occupies a position in the Southern Ocean that very few animals hold anywhere on Earth. True apex predator with no consistent natural enemy. Orcas are present in Antarctic waters, and they are larger. But documented orca predation on leopard seals is rare enough that researchers do not classify it as a meaningful population pressure. The leopard seal does not appear to modify its behavior in the presence of killer whales the way most prey species do. It preys on Weddell seals, crab-eater seals, and fur seals, making it the only pinniped on Earth that regularly hunts other pinnipeds. It takes penguins by the tens of thousands each season. It eats fish, squid, and krill, depending on what is available and what the season demands. It is generalist and specialist simultaneously. It can shift its entire hunting strategy based on prey availability. It can sustain itself on krill during lean periods and switch to large mammal predation when the opportunity presents. In terms of ecological flexibility, there is almost nothing like it at this latitude. Leopard seal populations are considered stable, approximately 220,000 to 440,000 individuals across the Southern Ocean. But stable does not mean invulnerable. Their prey base depends on Antarctic krill, which depends on sea ice for its reproductive cycle. As sea ice coverage declines, krill populations fluctuate. As krill declines, the entire food web that the leopard seal sits atop begins to shift. An apex predator that loses the foundation of its food chain does not immediately disappear. It adapts, or it doesn't. We do not yet know which way this one goes. What we do know is that when leopard seals disappear from a system, the effects cascade downward through every species they control. The ice is already changing. The animal that evolved to rule it is watching from the water. Back to the question at the start. What does it mean that a 500-kilogram apex predator spent 4 days trying to feed a human? It means the leopard seal is not simply a killing machine. The same animal that dragged Kirsty Brown to 60 meters, the same animal that skins penguins alive in under a minute, contains within it something that recognizes vulnerability and responds to it. It is one of the most dangerous animals in the Southern Ocean. It is also, by documented evidence, one of the few wild predators ever recorded attempting to nurture a member of a different species. Those two things are not contradictions. They are the same animal, shaped by 15 million years of evolution in the most extreme marine environment on Earth, Antarctica's most feared hunter, and apparently one of its most attentive caretakers. If this animal surprised you, and it should have, subscribe. We go deep on the creatures that don't behave the way you expect. Next time, the animal that builds elaborate traps, uses tools, and has been documented teaching its offspring problem-solving skills. And it is not a primate.